And I think we are live. That's what the computer is saying. Good afternoon. This is Giada live. I see already a lot of you watching. Good afternoon, benvenuti, buon pomeriggio, ben arrivati. Who is there? I don't see the names right now. It's Monday after Easter. So, how was your Easter? Come avete passato la Pasqua? It's yesterday I logged in for a little brief hello to all of you and hello also to people on Instagram. I think we're live also on Instagram over there. And Easter was a little bit different than all the Easters that we had in the previous year. È stata una Pasqua un po' inusuale. We were all at home, so siamo stati tutti a casa. For sure, and none of us was able to share it with the family members and people we love. Nessuno di noi l'ha potuta condividere con delle persone a cui lo volevamo bene, perché questa social distance è veramente importante. But nevertheless, it was kind of a beautiful Easter for me. I spent the day, as I said yesterday, splurging in good food. Ho passato la Pasqua mangiando un po' di più, cose buone, cucinando. I called all my family, I called all my friends, ho chiamato tutti i miei amici e i miei familiari, la mia mamma e il mio papà che forse ci stanno guardando dall'Italia. Ciao Veronico, visto che sei apparsa anche tu. Da dove ci state guardando? That's a question every day. I see a lot of you also on Instagram. Hello guys, where are you guys watching from? That's my question every day. And you guys are so kind in doing that. And yesterday also we had people from was Sunday, was Easter, era Pasqua ieri, la domenica di Pasqua, but nevertheless everybody was there. You guys, Natalie, there you are. Everybody was there from all over the world. Also yesterday we had many places. Anche avevamo l'Irlanda, la Germania, la Francia, l'Italia. I see two French girls over there. Vedo anche Marta Milanese, la mia cuginetta da Portogruaro. Ciao Marta, come stai? Come sta Alessandro? And I see Anthony. Where are you watching from? Andrea Gambino, Marta, Andrea Gambino, un altro ragazzo di Portogruaro. So, come avete passato la Pasqua? Da dove mi state guardando? Andrea e Marta, I know you guys siete a Portogruaro. Joseph sei di Stamford, Connecticut. Joseph Rainone. By the way, Joseph, thank you for your donations to the music. I received it yesterday through Vemno. There was a nice present for my Easter. I will spread the money also with my musicians. You know, that's what I do. Hello, Diane Fiorentino. And Marta, tutto bene. Mia cugina mi dice che va tutto bene. Linda, da dove ci guardi? Da Chicago. I cannot see Instagram because it's too far away. But guys, so Easter, anche la Pasqua è passata. Also Easter went like that, right? But did you had guys a good time? Let me know over there. Did you make any food I told you how to make? I made last Saturday salame di cioccolata per voi. Io ho fatto il salame di cioccolata. It was delicious, era buonissimo. L'ho fatto ieri e l'ho mangiato. Marta, lo devo fare anche tu, una ricetta che ci ha insegnato la nonna Maria. It's a recipe that me and Marta, she's my cousin, e mia cugina. We learned to make it from my nonna, our grandmother Maria. Doug, welcome, Doug, and thank you to you too for your donation to the music. Like you didn't donate enough. If you are on Facebook, I have to post it. Doug, there is this cartoonist from Las Vegas. C'è un cartoonista qui a Las Vegas, e di tutti gli artisti di Las Vegas, or of all of us artists in Las Vegas, he has made the cartoon. This is the Giada cartoon. Questo è il cartone animato Giada, and he put it on cups, and you could order them, and I think they're $20, right, Doug? And half of the amount goes to Neil Portnoy, which is the cartoonist here in Las Vegas, and half goes to the artist. And you, Doug, bought the cups, and you posted yesterday the cup with the chocolate. Doug l'ha comperata, all'interno della tazzina c'erano ieri le uova di Pasqua di cioccolata. Doug, did you eat all the eggs? Or did you save the few for me next time I see you? I'm asking Doug se ha mangiato tutti i cioccolatini, le uova di cioccolata, se ne ha lasciata qualcuna per me. E Giosuè, da dove ci stai guardando? Ben arrivato anche a te. So, if you want, guys, you can also purchase the cups. Just let me know and I will put the link there. And I want to thank Neil Portnoy for having this amazing idea to do all these cartoons of all of us here in Las Vegas. As you may know, come potete immaginare, siamo tutti senza lavoro. All the artists don't have work whatsoever. No matter which kind of arts we are, singer, musicians, dancer, siamo tutti al momento senza lavoro perché i teatri sono chiusi. So we are all doing this amazing time all together on the social media. I told you yesterday some of my favorite, of course, you tune for me every day and I very grateful. Voi vi mettete in linea con me ogni giorno e sono davvero felice per quello e vi ringrazio di cuore. Ma ci sono altri artisti che adoro. There are some other artists that I love that appears every day. There is Josh Groban, c'è Josh Groban che appare sotto la doccia. Every day he sings a song from under the shower. It's very funny. Of course, he's dressed up. And so if you Google Josh Groban under the shower, you will find it. There is Catherine McPhee and David Foster. They put together a show every day. It's super funny. Hey, ciao Antonio, eccoti arrivato. And who else is? I love. Yesterday we also saw Andrea Bocelli appearing at dalla Cattedrale di Milano for the Cathedral of Milano. He gave us all of us to the world a concert of hope. And you guys were amazing. 1 million people was already waiting to see Andrea even before YouTube was putting the live performance. 1 milione di persone erano in attesa di vedere Andrea Bocelli prima ancora che iniziasse la trasmissione su YouTube. And it's been a beautiful gift, un regalo bellissimo che ci ha fatto. And who else I love to watch every day? Oh well, these are my favorite, but there are many. My friend Frankie Scinta is live every day. Frankie Scinta is going to be my guest tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow. We are going to laugh tomorrow a lot because Frankie Scinta, they call him the showman, and he's really the funniest person I know with a heart of gold. And then on Wednesday, I have John Katz, we call him here, Katzilomates, which is our main journalist here in Las Vegas for Entertainer. And he's an amazing gentleman and very funny, very kind, very nice. So we're gonna talk to John and know him better as a human being. And then what else? And then on Thursday I have my friend Daniel Emmett, which is also often live with the parody of the quarantine. He takes songs from the Phantom of the Opera, or the other day he sang. He did a concert last Saturday and he was singing "Don't Cry for Me, Quarantina." It's very funny. So if you ever want to follow him and my friend Tony Dessert is also live every day. You have to check him out. Amazing piano player and singer is going to be my guest also in 2 weeks. And who else is there? And I have many friends also. They are magicians. I know Jen Kramer is going to be my guest, and she does also some magic tricks for us every day. And I see Franco. Franco, da dove ci stai guardando? Ciao Giada, bravissima, grazie. Saluti da Palermo. Palermo, Palermo, la Sicilia. La Sicilia. Mi viene in mente Johnny Stecchino. Dimmi, JJ. There's also somebody from Israel. Somebody from Israel. Oh, happy Passover. I guess you guys have the Passover. You didn't have the Easter. By the way, to all my Jewish friends, it's true. You guys celebrate the Passover. Today, I'm going to sing a song, and then we've wrapped it up, all these things, and I have an amazing guest that I wanna is a dear friend of mine, but I mean, for the world, he's just a legend. It's one of the most iconic journalists. He has covered history for more than 50 years of American history, reporting from not only the United States, from all over the world. And I cannot wait to share. His name is Marvin Scott. So I'm going to sing a song for you. And then Marvin is, we're going to ask him where he is, what he's doing during this quarantine. So I decided to sing for you a song that you guys requested me when I did the concert last week, and you said you have to sing it again, so I'm doing it. It's a song that I have recorded. It's not been released yet. It's a Time in a Bottle of Time in a Bottle of Jim Croce. Sorry, I forgot it. And I record this song with some amazing musicians. I recorded with Rodrigo Rios, which is an amazing Brazilian drummer. He was the producer, with Cheche Alara, which is the musical director of the Grammy. He was playing the piano for me. Ramon Stagnaro is the guitar player that you see all the time with Andrea Bocelli. Michael Linton is playing the saxophone. He's an amazing saxophone player. Paulinho da Costa is a legendary percussionist. He played with the Bee Gees, with Elton John, Whitney Houston, Bob Dylan. I mean, amazing. And he was playing percussion for me on this track. And Nathan East, my favorite musicians in the whole freaking world. Nathan East has played also with everybody. I'm gonna sing next Friday for you at the concert. Tears. What is the name? Tears in Heaven. And
Nathan was playing bass with Eric Clapton, so he's been playing in all. I have to tell you one day, all the songs that we love, Nathan is played the bass on it. So let me sing for you before we invite my friend Marvin Scott. I sing for you "Time in a Bottle" once again. So enjoy the music, and then we go into a fantastic time of interview, cheer and fun. Hello, guys. If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend time with you. If I could make days last forever, if words could make wishes come true, I save every day like a treasure, and then again I will spend them with you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things we want to do once we find them. Well, I've looked around enough to know that you're the one I want to go through time with. If I had a box just for wishes and dreams that have never come true, that box would be empty except for the memories of how they were answered by you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. Well, I looked around enough to know that you're the one I want to go through time with. If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I like to do is to save every day like a treasure, and then again just spend time with you. Time in a bottle, time in a bottle. If we could save time in a bottle, that would be. Thank you guys for all the applauses. So that would be magnificent. I'm going to give back this microphone to JJ because I can talk with my clipper microphone. So, sorry. So, and guys, now I mean, I am beyond excited to have some of the time with Marvin Scott. It's many of you, if you are in New York City, in New York State, and if you are really a lover of news and you have been following the news every day, is still on Pix 11 News every day reporting. And he's been reporting for more than 50 years. He's been on the front line of the world, not only the United States. And today he is here. Let's see if Marvin is here with us. Are you guys ready? Today I can share it also on Instagram, guys. So let me see if Marvin Scott is here with us. Let me see. I see him.
Throw you a big kiss.
And there you are.
Keeping
Hello,
social distance.
How are you, Marvin?
This is social distancing. Las Vegas, New York, that's some distance. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I am terrific, thank you. I've been hunkered down, and my dear wife, Lori, just won't let me out of the house. And I've been working from home. I've been doing my reports live from my living room. So, but the technology today is absolutely incredible. I can edit and talk to my editors and get all the information I need and the video I need hooked up on the computer.
Unbelievable.
Technology.
How did you spend your Easter? At home with Laurie, with the two of you?
Well, we were home, and we also observed Passover
Good.
on Wednesday, the first night of Passover. A nephew had a brilliant idea, and we did a virtual Passover. And we had the youngest of the kids. They recited the four questions, asked the four questions, and it was wonderful. We had my son and my nephews and my brother in Florida, and we all got together. I mean, just having all of this here on the internet it's absolutely mind-boggling, isn't it?
It's precious, right? But Marvin, you've been in the front line of the news, I said, for 50 years, right? How long have you been in this business?
You want to admit it? This is going to be.
Admit it. Because you started very young, so I know you started.
Yeah, I started at 5. This will mark my milestone year. This will be my 60th year in the business. I started in 1960. Was my first job.
Well, you have interviewed. Yesterday I spent my Easter reading everything, anything I could find. I mean, I knew already everything about you, but I found stuff that I had no idea. I've read that you have interviewed and covered 6 American presidents, United States presidents.
Yes, one of them.
Yes, and you have interviewed, I don't know how many celebrities, more than 15,000 people, and told more than 30,000 stories.
Count them, give or take. Yes.
But tell everybody, how did it start?
There's Bobby Kennedy. I just want to identify the people coming on the screen. You saw President Ford. I knew President Ford back into my second job in Grand Rapids, Michigan, when he was the congressman. I'll share this quick story with you.
Yeah.
And he came in one night when we were doing coverage of the governor's race of George Romney, and he was running for governor. And Jerry Ford came into the studio and he did some analysis with me. And years later, after he left the White House, I was at a dinner and he was sitting next to Bob Hope, and I went over to say hello to him, and I reminded him of that night. I said, "I'm sure, Mr. President, you have no recollection of this, but I want to tell you, it was the night you and I were doing analysis of the governor's race." And he asked me, "What are you doing now?" And I said, "Well, I'm anchoring the news here in New York." His eyes lit up, and he turned to Bob Hope and he nudged him. He said, "Bob, you said no one from Grand Rapids ever made anything of themselves. There was a kid who's now an anchor in New York." So that was the story about Jerry. There were so many stories, but you say 15,000 stories is a good guesstimate, and 30,000 interviews. When you figure I'm doing a report on the street each day, I'm interviewing maybe 2 or 3 people a day, plus my weekly program, Pix 11 News Close Up. I have guests in the studio. Multiply all those people over a period of 60 years. It amounts to about 30,000.
But how did he start it? Because you were born in the Bronx, right?
I was born in the Bronx, and you can say I started. It was photography. I had a passion for photography, and I was sitting doing my homework one night, watching the Steve Allen show, and there's the camera I was using back then. It was a raging fire right down the street from me. I looked out the window, and night had turned to day, and I heard the sirens. And if people didn't hear the sirens, they heard the clappity clap of my feet racing down the steps with my camera. I got there just as the firefighters were setting up, and I took this picture of a raging inferno, and the firefighters' hose wasn't even a full stream yet. The New York Daily News was known as New York's picture newspaper. Sold them the picture. They ran a quarter of it, the centerfold, with a credit line. I was hooked. But you might say, even more than that, when I got back to my apartment building, all my neighbors were on the corner asking what happened. And here was this 14-year-old kid telling them what was happening. You could say that was my very first newscast.
It's unbelievable. And did you always wanted to be a journalist, a reporter? Did you have this passion always?
I had that. Yes, I had that interest. I said photography was a passion. Initially, my goal was to be a photographer for Life magazine, and my camera was part of my appendage. I took pictures, sold them to local magazines. I took a sequence of pictures of Marilyn Monroe in 1955 when she rode a pink elephant into the center stage. There she is.
There she is.
Oh, look how magnificent she is.
Oh, man.
And so I took pictures there. I got into it with my high school press pass with all the paparazzi, and I took these magnificent photos of her, and it got published in that magazine. It's called People Magazine, quite different from the one today.
Yeah.
It's a small pocket magazine. So I continued this in school, in college, and I became the editor of the newspaper. And I started the writing along with my photography. And I enjoyed telling stories, and I've been telling stories ever since. Graduated, got my first job in Charleston, West Virginia. The rest you could say, Giada's history.
Well, you've been successful in everything you have done. I mean, I read here you've been anchor, correspondent, and producer at CNN, at ABC. You've been in print media. You said if you've been a feature writer of the New York Herald Tribune, and it goes on, the contributing editor to the Parade magazine. You've been a DJ too. I see here in the Midwest, and you've been now since 1980. You're senior correspondent for Pix 11. That's how I know you. I was watching
Right.
you when I was in New York for my whole life. So what do you think has been the secret of your success because everything you do is successful? What is your secret? What is your passion?
With a passion. One word: honesty. I have always been honest with my viewers. In a day and age where we hear so much about fake news and we get too subjective with the news, I just tell a story. I mean, it was Rudyard Kipling who said, and I taught this in learned this in journalism school, I have 5 faithful serving men. They're who, what, why, where, and who. Stick to those facts. Years ago, when a reporter would start off at a newspaper, that reporter was assigned to do obituaries. The reason for that? You had to stick to the facts. Who, what, when, where, who. And that's the thing that carried on. And I have never lost that honesty with my viewers. My viewers couldn't tell me where I stand politically. They don't know if I'm middle, right, or center, or left, right, or center. And I keep it that way. But my friends, that's another story. Or out for dinner, yeah, I could get quite verbose. But on the air, there's no reason for that. I just tell the facts. Here's the story. And I tell you, I said 60 years. I'm still as passionate about it as I was the day I started. And I don't feel like it's been 60 years because I'm still enjoying what I'm doing.
You don't look one day older than 60 anyway, so I don't know
Thank
what's
you,
your
Giada.
secret in
Thank
there.
you.
Is talking of, I want to share something. I want to ask you something. I mean, being busy and successful like you as a reporter, you've been traveling all over the world to make it, to be a correspondent. You've been in Afghanistan, Iraq, everywhere. But you're also, I know you as the amazing husband to Lori. I know, and you have 2 kids, 3 grandchildren. There's no one conversation that me and you we have that you don't
There's
talk
Lori.
about. And there she is. That you don't talk about her, the love for her. I mean, nowadays it looks like people they cannot have a relationship anymore. If they have a job, they cannot go. They have to buy takeover food because they cannot even cook. They don't have time for anybody. How did you juggle your career and I mean, how did you do it? How did you do that? And I see for a second
Very
you have
simple. I married an amazing woman. Absolutely amazing. I mean, we think alike and we have the same interests. And, you know, in any relationship, you have your difficulties at moments. And sure, we argue, but I can probably count on one hand in all the years that we're together the number of really those really serious battles we've had. We don't have them. You did mention my grandchildren because I think they're watching right now. I alerted my daughter Jill, so I think my gorgeous granddaughter Alex is here, and my handsome grandson, Jake. They're watching up in Westchester, where
oh,
they're hunkered
hello
down.
guys. I don't have pictures of them. I mean I tried to Google family picture. I couldn't find the pictures of you have a daughter and a son, right?
I have a daughter, my daughter Jill, and she went into the business initially. She was working at New York One as a reporter, and now she's a mom, a very very great mom. I'm very proud of her. And Jake and Alex, they're down there and they're behaving. I hope you are, guys. Right? Grandpa says hello. How are you?
They're lucky kids to have
I
a
mean, I
grandfather
tell you,
like you.
Jake is so terrific on the internet. He's teaching me how to do things and to get onto apps. I mean, that's the way you learn today. They don't know anything but the internet. Jake, you ever hear of a typewriter?
Probably not. He saw the photo camera that you were using and said, what is that? I mean, they have, the iPhone now. But I mean, let's brag a little bit about you because I see the wall of fame that you have behind you. But you've been nominated for 30 Emmys. Am I correct? And you won how many? How
Not
many
that many.
Emmys?
I'm blessed to have 12 Emmys. Uh, some of them right here behind me. Uh,
Yeah.
and I'm a member of the Gold and the Silver Circle of the Television Academy New York chapter. And, I've amassed some nice trophies, but better than that are the memories and the people who I've met in the background. Who is that? Oh, that's, who is that?
It's a little bit of Las Vegas. You are there with,
Oh,
what is his name? Wayne Newton.
Wayne Newton. Wayne
Wayne
Newton. Wayne
Newton.
Newton. Yes. The gentleman in the center, I don't remember, but
I
Wayne
don't,
Newton.
yeah, I found I found so many pictures. I was trying to find because you also receive an Ellis Island Medal of Honor, right? For
Yes.
outstanding Americans.
Yes, we do that each year, and sadly, because of COVID-19, we had to postpone the Ellis Island Gala, which was scheduled for next month on Ellis Island. And I've been the master of ceremonies for, this will be my 27th year when we do it in the fall. And a couple of years ago, we honored my dear friend Tony Orlando, who you are a dear friend of, and he was honored. He got me up there. We were singing together. There's Tony. I've got to grab a picture off the wall because I got to show you. Hold on.
Yes.
Oh, I got to show you this one.
Marvin's gonna pick up a picture of Tony Orlando, legendary singers, of course.
Because Tony got me up there to sing with him. Let's get it out of the reflection.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. We can see it very well. You guys can see it, right?
Yeah,
And talking about Tony
he
Orlando,
pulled me up there to sing "God Bless America" with him, and I'm a non-singer, but he even managed to get me on key for that one.
so next time you are on one of my concerts, you have to sing with me too. You cannot do it with Tony and then not do it with Giada.
I just could not get up there and carry a song the way you do, my dear.
Listen, I have another question that somebody asked me when they knew I was talking to you. Of course, everybody said that you are a legend in the broadcasting industry, and if there is a young kid, like a young kid watching this interview and admiring you, like I do admire you, and like all the journalists out there, they do. Which kind of words would you have for them? How do they approach? Because everything has changed. Like you said, there is fake news, there is no honesty. What would you say to a young kid that want to embark a career like yours?
Persevere. If you believe in something, believe in it strong enough. And this may sound like a cliche, but I've said it so frequently when I've spoken to young people who are interested in the career in journalism. Follow your dream. Don't give up. Don't give up. I had some luck along the way, but it was the perseverance, Giada. I never let a door close. If someone said no, I'd call them back in 2 weeks and say, "Hi, remember me?" And I think young people today, they forget that. They don't want to be obnoxious. And it's not being obnoxious. It's just in a nice way, follow up. I remember when I was working, I spent about 3 years out in the Midwest, getting my feet wet before I returned to New York. And I would find an opportunity. We've worked in Columbus, Ohio, or Grand Rapids, Michigan. If there was a story there, I would call the radio station in New York, WNEW Radio, and say, "Hey guys, would you like a report?" And I would give them a report. And there was a mine disaster, and I remember reporting from Holden, West Virginia, for the radio station in New York, WNEW. So when I came back, the news director, he got to know me, Lee Hanna, and he proposed me for a job back in New York it was UPI Television News, where I was the night assignment manager. And it's interesting how things evolved. The man who was there at that time was Burt Reinhardt. He eventually became the president of CNN. And Reese Schoenfeld, whose idea it was for CNN, he was the manager of the UPI Television News. And they remembered me. And years later, I did have a brief stint at CNN in Atlanta. And that was a wonderful experience. One of the other things, a shout out, talking about my daughter and my grandchildren. I don't know if he's watching right now, but my son Steven is out there someplace. I told you about him. The next time you're in New York, you should have him perform for you. He's a comedian and also badly impacted by COVID-19. He had so many assignments that were scheduled for this month and next month. And, like the rest of us, he's homebound. Yeah. How are you doing? How's JJ?
JJ is doing good. JJ, I had so many pictures because I'm reading actually your book, as I saw it, right? A reporter's intrepid journeys. I'm only on page 20, so I have a long way to go. But you have interviewed everybody who is somebody in this world in the history. But you also met Sofia Loren. I am Italian. I have to ask you. I see your face. How was it? What can you tell us about meeting Sofia?
Look at my face.
I see your face. Yeah, people will see your
I
face.
was
That's Marvin Scott face.
I
Sophia.
was in ecstasy that day. Oh my God. You know, you talk about someone, you use the word beautiful, but when you sit next to someone who was beautiful, not social distancing, but we were so close, I couldn't take my eyes off her eyes. She was magnificent, and she was so down to earth, Giada. I mean, I remember saying to her, you know, you are one of the world's most beautiful women, and she said, no, no, I'm a mother. That was her most important credit. She wanted to be remembered not as a sexy movie star. She wanted to be remembered as mama to her two sons, who meant more to her than life itself, is what she said to me. Her two boys. And that was a moment. You know, there are moments you have, you use the phrase, there are pinch moments. That was one of them with sitting next to Sophia Loren. It was like that moment I saw Marilyn Monroe, uh,
Yes.
or meeting Princess Grace. Some of the people over the years who I've had the good fortune of meeting, and you know, people, we see an image of them, and when we meet them, you know, you see someone different. You think you have someone who has airs about them, but they're really so down to earth. I loved Donald O'Connor. I got to know Donald. Was we worked the cerebral palsy telethon together for a number of years. That's where I met Tony initially, and Donald was so wonderful. Mitzi Gaynor, probably your audience doesn't remember Mitzi, but she was
Oh, they do.
the good old Technicolor films. And this was an interesting story because I loved Mitzi. I would go to the movies. I go, God, 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 God. The way I reacted towards Sophia. And I was doing a syndicated show at WPIX then called Independent Network News. There was a syndicated show called Midday Edition. We were seen in about 85 markets. And we had celebrities on almost every day of the week. And Mitzi Gaynor was scheduled to be one of our interviewees. And I, of course, was going to do the interview. And I was thrilled. You know, you get those moments when you meet someone where you're a little, you know, excited about it. Well, I was so excited. Here, I'm going to go and meet Mitzi Gaynor. Mitzi walks into the studio. Her eyes catch my eyes, comes towards me, gives me a big bear hug, and says, "You're so much better looking in person." I
Oh my gosh.
watch you every morning in my kitchen, and that was a very special moment. And we became friends. And the following year, she invited me to come out for Christmas to help decorate their Christmas tree. And I went out to Beverly Hills, and there she was. And who was there? Donald O'Connor was there, and Joan Collins was there, and
Oh, wow.
a lot of the folks who I knew. It was you know, one of the byproducts of what I do are the personal relationships that come out of the professional relationships. And I got to be friendly with so many people, politicians, celebrities. Jerry Lewis became a dear friend. Just as Tony is one of my dearest friends. I just love him. He is. You talk of someone being so down to earth. That's
Yes.
Tony. I mean, and that story you saw the other day would be on the yellow ribbons. Tie a
Beautiful.
yellow ribbon. That's immortal. That song, and Tony alerted me to there's a new surge in tying yellow ribbons around trees with this COVID-19 crisis. And I think you and I talking about COVID-19. I mean, we have to send out our heartfelt gratitude to all those healthcare workers and the first responders who right now are on the front lines of this invisible war, which is, I tell you, I look around New York and it's so surreal seeing Times Square in the middle of the day and the week empty, no
Yeah.
signs of life, and the streets so empty, and what we're going through now, and our heartfelt feelings for those families who have lost loved
Yes.
ones. It's just a
Yeah, the
horror.
new heroes. I mean, all the people that have to be out of there, the doctors, the nurses. I do it every day, Marvin. I sing Amazing Grace for them, or I say Ave Maria of a prayer, because really they're risking life. like the soldier during the world, and now this is a war,
It
and they
is.
are fighting for us. They
No,
are fighting for us.
9/11 was bad. That
Yeah.
was probably the most difficult story I ever had to cover, because I
Mhm.
wasn't covering a story that was in some far off part of the world. It was in my own backyard, and I had been in that building so many times.
Oh,
And the moment I got emotional was a couple of days later. Um, I heard someone singing "Isle of Tears" as I was going through photographs, and I came across a photograph of my children, Stephen and Jill and me, having lunch at Windows on the World. And I just get a chill now just thinking about it. And that was the moment I got a bit emotional at
yeah.
home.
I
But
can.
also, I shed a tear. I, Interviewing people in the studio was so difficult when they were talking about their loved ones, husbands and fathers, and oh, he's a survivor. I know he'll survive this. And then when they told me he was on the top floor, I mean, we knew in our heart and soul there was no way I could survive. And in one moment, my eyes just got so watery. And you know something? I wasn't embarrassed by it, because I too,
No.
it was a case, I was a part of that story. It was in my home. And yeah, difficult. As you point out,
Yeah, it was one of my questions because I mean, you were, I mean, you met all the president, and some of them got assassinated, and I know you have to report the Kennedys when they got killed, and Martin Luther King. I found the pictures of you, Marvin, that you are actually next to the dead body of Martin Luther King. I don't know if JJ can find it. I mean, you when you are following all the
there I
stories.
am, right,
Yeah,
right in
there's
the
the pictures,
background.
and there you are in the back. I mean, this picture struck me because I was just like, for me, this is history of the world, and you were there.
It
But
was,
as a journalist, can you explain to me how you can, you're a journalist, but you're a human being. You became close to these people, you admire them, and then
you
you see
are,
these things happen. I mean,
you are so correct, Giada. I'm a human being first.
yes, that's what
And
you
there
are.
are
I know
moments,
you.
you know, I've learned my lessons over the years. You know, sometimes you see a reporter and you revile over a question that reporter would ask. You see how sometimes we're portrayed in a motion picture where a reporter go up. So how'd you feel when you heard your loved one was killed? You know,
Yeah.
it we're real. We're human beings. I had a period of time where I was covering so many stories where people, I was going after loved ones after they lost someone. And I went to my news director. I said, I can't do this anymore. I was beginning to get hate mail and hate calls. But sometimes, too, people, they want to speak. It's cathartic for them. I had one man who ushered me into the funeral home. He wanted to talk, but in front of the casket of his dead son who had been shot and killed in Harlem.
Oh
He
my God.
wanted to talk, and he felt some sense of relief by talking. We're not ghouls. And you know, people do want to talk. I've learned when I go to someone, I have to approach someone, I begin by expressing my condolences and said, I wish I wasn't here as much as you wish I weren't here. Would you like to say something about your loved one? I'd like to do a tribute. And that's how I'll approach it. I think we have to have a sensitivity. I don't know how much time you have to keep talking. I can tell on ghost stories and
Oh, I know. And maybe Marvin, this situation is gonna stay with us a long time. I want to have you. I'm gonna read all your book, and I'm sure I'm gonna have millions of questions. Me and you, we met through Sonny Grosso, a dear friend of ours,
yes,
through
dear
Friends
friend
Connection
Sonny.
Cup, and I will be. I feel like it's been a blessing to know you. You and Lori, I adore your Lori. That's our Sonny
There's
Grosso. I
you and
think also
Sonny.
the first picture I took with you. Go down, JJ. Me and you. I remember going home and sending to my parents.
Oh,
This is Marvin Scott, and
look at that beautiful lady.
yeah, and then we have also one. You were at my concert in December with Lori, and I mean
There
that
we
was
are.
an honor. Look at that.
Another
That's
nice
my
picture.
Lori is like the sunshine on a cloudy day. I mean, you speak with Lori. Can you just leave us with, because I know you are most of all, you're the most romantic person I think I know. Can you tell everybody, and then we have to say hello to everybody. How did you propose to her? Can you tell me the Paris story, the
Why,
thing you
why,
told me?
why did I have a feeling you're going to ask me that question?
Because
Yes.
when you told me the last time when we were having dinner, I thought I always loved you. I always loved Lori. I knew you are the love I'm singing about in my concert. But when you told me that, I melted.
I
Please
love
tell the
your
people very
line.
fast. You have to.
I'm going to use your line. She's
Oh,
the
you can use
sunshine.
anything you want
She
from
is
me.
the
I mean,
sunshine on a cloudy day.
that's what Lori is.
That describes Lori.
Yes.
And this is her birthday is this week. So you
Oh, happy birthday,
happy
Laurie.
birthday, Lori. All right. So how do we meet? How do I
You
propose?
have to. We have to live with that story.
Okay. Wanted to do something different for her birthday. And I suggested, well, instead of one of our regular restaurant haunts, why don't we let's go to a romantic French restaurant? She said, that sounds nice, candlelight, we'll do the whole thing. Okay. So we were planning on a French restaurant. Um, about a week before her birthday on a Sunday, I brought her a tray with coffee and juice and brought it to bed and an envelope. She opened the envelope, and in the envelope was a ticket to Paris. She said, what is this? I said, I told you we're going to go to dinner at a French restaurant. She didn't say Paris. We went to Paris, and I was just so apologetic. I kept saying, Lori, I don't have anything else for you. I'm so sorry. And she said, what are you talking about? You brought me to Paris. On a birthday eve, get into a taxi, and we drive to the Eiffel Tower. Why are we going here? You'll see. We walk into a restaurant called the Jules Verne, which is a restaurant on the third or fourth level of the Eiffel Tower. And we had dinner. It was a wonderful dinner. I have to tell you, it was so difficult getting a reservation to this place. There's a restaurant in New York, which is impossible. The Eiffel Tower was just even more difficult. Finally, I got it through the travel office. They went to the mayor of Paris, who relinquished one of his VIP tables so we could have it that night. We had dinner. After dinner, we went into the lounge, dimly lighted, the lights of Paris twinkling below. And I turned to Lori and I said, I lied. What? I said, I got you a present. She said, what are you talking about? And I took this little box out. It was in a big box to set her mind off, not thinking it was a ring. She opened the box and I recited in French the
Wow.
proposal. I proposed to her in French. I don't speak French. I memorized it and I got it out the right way. And she said, oi. And she meant we.
Oh, yeah. You told me you can repeat to me the story too. I think it's the most beautiful. It's beautiful. It says everything about you, Laurie, your love story, the person that you are. For me, you are as successful as you are because you are an amazing, beautiful human being, inside and
Thank
out. And
you.
and Laurie, I mean, she's beautiful.
She's the sunshine on a cloudy day.
That's what she
You
is.
said it. Thank you.
Marvin, I want to really thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here with me today. If there is more time in the future, I will ask you again because I know I have so many questions for you.
You're only up to page 20 of the book.
I,
You ain't getting
yeah,
nowhere yet.
guys. By the way, JJ, you have to put the pictures of the book. You guys have to get this book. It's a fantastic book. I mean, if you're like me, I'm a history freak, and I like to know what happened before me. And this is the most entertaining way to know. There's the book. Yeah, you can also go back to yeah. I also have a picture, but you can. That book is fantastic. I mean, I just
When I
read the
see you, I gotta
introduction.
sign, I gotta inscribe it to you. What it is, I just tell them it's a composite of 26 of the more unique stories I've covered over the years, and a dozen or so of the interviews I've done. Dan Rather wrote the foreword for me. I was
Yeah.
just blown away. He was so wonderful. I've known Dan for years, and he was so gracious to write the foreword. And enjoy the rest of the book, and we'll talk again. I'll
I
take
will.
you.
I'll talk again. I love you. Thank you so much. Also, give
Love
my
you
love to
too.
Laurie. Thank you for being in my life and for being like you are. You are a gift for the world. I
Thank
love you.
you,
Thank you
and
for
the
being with
best to
me.
JJ.
I
Stay,
will. JJ is
stay
next to
safe.
you.
Keep your distance.
You too. Keep your distance. Stay at home. No kisses, no hugs. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Guys, I hope you enjoyed. I mean, my conversation with Marvin. I could have done a conversation for 3 days. Marvin is a remarkable human being. I mean, yesterday I was preparing for the interview. Of course, I googled, Wikipedia, everything, and I found so many amazing pictures. He said he's a very accomplished photographer, and there are some pictures on the internet of the Kennedy. And in the book, it tells the story. You guys really have to get the book. It's an amazing way to know what happened before us, and maybe for some of you what happened during the years that you were young kids. It's been a pleasure to have you all with me today. Let me see who was there. Let me read. I'm sure you all enjoyed Oh, I see a lot of messages. I'm gonna read them all and answer of you. And I'm glad. I hope you guys on Instagram. I see a lot of messages also there. Were able to follow the whole things. let me take my microphone because, of course, I'm going to sing a song before we wrap it up. And I'm going to see you all tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going to have Frankie Shinta, another amazing friend of mine. And we are going to have the time of our life laughing. I mean, because Frankie Shinta, they call it the showman, and he really is funny. So tomorrow, same time, same place, 2 p.m. Thank you all of you for being here. I see many of you. Daniela is there. Let me know, Sandy, who is there? I don't know if John Katz was watching today. I told him to watch because he's another journalist I'm going to interview on Wednesday. Of course, he's an entertainer reporter, but I'm sure he's a big fan of Marvin. I'm going to have Marvin in a couple of weeks, maybe again, because I have a few questions. I forgot to ask him who inspired him because he's inspiring us. So who inspired him? I want to know, a man of such a success. I leave you now with a song, and the song is What a Wonderful World. JJ said, what kind of song? Because originally I was supposed to sing for you Somewhere Over the Rainbow. This is the song you asked me, and I'm going to do it tomorrow. But we had some technical problem with a piano track that was given to me. So thank you so very much for tuning in. Let's sing together What a Wonderful World. And the world is wonderful. We are fighting the corona. Stiamo combattendo questo virus corona, ma ce la faremo. We will survive. And thank you for being with me every day. You cheer me up. I know I cheered you up. And I hope you enjoy my interview with Marvin. And I'm going to see you tomorrow. But let's first sing together. JJ keeps saying he's trying to look for and find for the track. If we cannot find it, we say goodbye without songs, right? And then tomorrow we do 3. So, guys, let me see. In meantime, Michael is there. Veronique from La France, Nathalie. Oh, Nathalie, thank you very much for all those pictures. And Diane, thank you so much for your another donation you make this morning. Oh gosh, you guys are generous, and we are in all of this together. And as soon as this is over, I cannot wait. We're gonna gather all together somewhere. I mean, it's gonna be magical. Magical. So here we go. What a wonderful world. And the world is wonderful. È un mondo meraviglioso. Questa canzone ve la canto oggi, la conoscete anche voi in Italia. What a wonderful world. Let's see. You requested it to me together with Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark secret night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow so pretty in the sky, it's also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I see babies cry, I watch them grow. They learn much more that I'll never know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Beh, il mondo è meraviglioso. The world is a wonderful place. It doesn't matter. We are fighting the COVID-19 right now. Stiamo combattendo il COVID-19. Ma se teniamo duro, ce la faremo. Stiamo a casa, stiamo tranquilli, ci laviamo le mani, we stay home, we wash our hands, and we meet each other every day here. I want to thank again Marvin Scott for sharing some time with us today. I know you guys appreciate it very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Vi voglio bene e grazie per essere con me ogni giorno. Adesso mi leggo tutti i messaggi che mi state lasciando, anche voi là an Instagram, e ci vediamo domani, solita ora, solito posto. I'll see you tomorrow, same place, same time. And my guest tomorrow is going to be Frankie Shinta. So probably he will sing a song also for us or do something for us musically, since he's an entertainer. So vi voglio bene, ci vediamo domani qui sullo stesso posto. Io da casa mia e voi dalla vostra. Me in my house and you on yours. Giada live from Las Vegas. A domani. Ciao ragazzi, un abbraccio.